Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell uses 43rd regular meeting of CARICOM to call for cooperation to transform the regional body. We'll have details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for Monday, July 4th, I am Rikisha St. Louis. Grenada's Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell is calling for regional cooperation and support in addressing the many challenges that face the region to realize a transformed community. He said if member countries are to recognize and enjoy the benefits of regional integration, cooperation must start now. Prime Minister Mitchell was addressing colleague heads of government at the opening ceremony at the 43rd regular meeting of CARICOM heads in Suriname on Sunday. During his maiden speech, Honorable Mitchell said the solution to regional air and sea travel, food security, climate change, COVID-19 and other challenges plaguing the region lies with the leaders and groups elected and appointed to represent the citizens. He said no more should heads of government be involved in lengthy talks about solutions, but find ways to implement measures that will address the issues in a timely manner.
We need to redouble our efforts to finding solutions to our challenges. Let us not restrict our engagements to the members of our community, but let us, with purpose, follow the path of the Caribbean Sea, like wise men seeking a brightened star, and engage all countries touched by its warm waters, from Mexico to Venezuela, from Suriname to Haiti. We must also, my friends, bolster support for regional organizations, including the Association of Caribbean States and the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States, making CARICOM the center of enhanced cooperation for our region.
Grenada, he said, is ready to play its part in regional integration for the benefit of its citizens and the Caribbean.
Grenada is willing, ready, and eager to do its part in transforming our beloved Caribbean community. The region belongs to all of us. It is simply home. Our forefathers in 1973 envisioned a region with the ability to transform the lives of its people by working together. A community that can overcome its challenges if we, without reservation, dedicate ourselves, our time, and our talents to moving CARICOM forward.
The CARICOM heads are expected to examine and discuss advancing the CARICOM agri-food systems agenda, climate finance, security issues, COVID-19 and other emerging health issues. The Prime Minister and his delegation are expected to return on Wednesday, July 6th. Government ministers hit the ground running on Monday, familiarizing themselves with policy procedures and project documents following previous meet and greet sessions with staff members on Friday. GIS spoke with a few of the ministers during their first day at the office. They highlighted what has been done so far and their expectations going forward. The ministers were officially sworn into office last Thursday.
I'm happy with the environment of my office. It's clean and well put together and so on. I have no difficulty with that. I've met with the PS and the senior staff on Friday last. I am yet to meet with the general staff, but so far I am pleased with the organization and the operation thus far. As you can see right now, I'm going through a summary report of all the projects that have been implemented by the Ministry of Infrastructure, Physical Development, etc. And once I get a hold of it and so on, I know there are many more questions I'll have to ask. Those that are contained in these reports and those that I think that probably still need to be fed to me because I want to start off being on top of things from day one. Rest assured, we are at work. We know that there's a lot on our plate at this moment. Not impossible, not insurmountable, but I believe that with continuous dedication to what we have actually assigned ourselves to or committed ourselves to and so on, we will be able to deliver as we have actually said we were going to do during our campaign cycle And now that we have been installed as ministers in the various ministries, I believe that we can get the work done.
Today we had a time of spiritual grounding for senior managers, so heads of department, and we felt in embracing this responsibility, spiritual guidance and wisdom was most needed. And so we did that privately. We had them all here, and we had that time of sharing. And it was really, really profound. We took care of each other's personal needs by way of prayer. And that was really fulfilling, because to be able to deliver at your best and to meet the needs of other persons, you have to first have your own met. And so we were able to share with each other and pray with and for each other. And that was quite profound. I got a chance to briefly touch base with the PSs and schedule a couple of meetings that are going to be had to do the brief, to go through it together, to align the priorities of this new administration with what already exists, and make sure we minimize glitches and set a platform for genuine transformation and takeoff.
I believe that Ministry of Health has an extremely professional staff, and by and large I can sense that for the majority of them they have an excellent working relationship with each other. I hit the ground running since Friday, actually. I'm really excited, energized, motivated, inspired to really lead the health sector into the 21st century. Yeah, so an excellent first day. Excellent orientation on Friday, an excellent first day today. We know that healthcare is one of the things that many countries in the Caribbean as well as across the world, they're championing right now. And as a result of that, we have to ensure that the necessary policies from a policy level, the necessary policies are put in place in the various aspects of health, whether it be mental health, environmental health, dental health, you just name it. That these policies are relevant, that these policies are transformative and on the cutting edge, so that the people of Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique, or as my Prime Minister would say, Petit Martinique, Carriacou and Grenada, can see the visible, tangible transformation of the sector.
We met with the management, so we went up to fourth floor. We met with all the managers, hearing from them and trying to understand what they have been doing and trying to map a way forward. So far, the morning has been, I would say, well occupied. I wouldn't call it busy, but well occupied, in the sense that we set our target, we had an agenda, so what we wanted to do, and we were able to do that thus far. Presently, what I'm doing now is really speed reading, so I'm kind of getting a general sense as to how the offices function, what they are engaged in, and when I'm complete with a high-level reading, then I will have a one-on-one with some of the leaders in the various departments, drilling down a little further, asking some questions based on what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing some stats starting to jump out at me and so on. And thereafter, of course, within the next 2 weeks, we would start visiting the outposts, the various units on the outside, daycare centers and the various units that is around the country.
Continuing the news, improving the literacy of our nation's youth is among the list of immediate actions to be taken by Honorable Ron Redhead, Minister of State with responsibility for youth and sports in the Ministry of Education, Youth, Sports and Culture. Honorable Redhead made the comments to the GIS after receiving his instrument of appointment at the recent swearing-in ceremony of the Cabinet of Ministers at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium.
We need to ensure, for example, that we embark upon a reading program so that we improve literacy at the lowest levels. There are a number of initiatives that we are planning, and hopefully we will be able to execute each of them as we go along. We are taking it in strides because it's also a learning process for us as new ministers, but we intend to beef up and transform the quality of youth development throughout Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique.
He also shared his thoughts on programs for youth development regarding improvements that can be made.
You can expect us to review all existing programs at the level of youth. We will see what is working, and areas that are good, we will keep that. Areas that are not so good, we need to enhance them. And that is our priority going forward in terms of ensuring that we take what works and keep what works, and build upon what does not work to enhance it for all the young people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martin.
This is the National Report. The news will continue after the break.
The house was shaking. Then suddenly saw we hear bang, crack, and the roof had gone.
Man, I was so scared, I nearly wet myself.
Only those who have lived it can truly understand the devastating fury of a hurricane's wind.
The house across the road just get up and roll over.
Hurricane force wind. It's a hazard. Hazards. Take control. Reduce your loss. You can hurricane-proof your home. For example, make your roof more wind-resistant by using screws instead of nails in its construction. Find out more about hurricane force winds and other hazards at your local disaster office. A message from the National Disaster Management Agency and SEDERA.
Welcome back. Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell has been sworn in as the opposition leader of Grenada. Dr. Mitchell took the oath of office at the Grenada Trade Center in the presence of Governor General Dame Cecile Lagrenade, family, friends, and supporters of the new National Party and the parliamentary representatives-elect. Dr. Mitchell's new National Party secured 6 seats at the June 23rd general elections.
And that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of Grenada. So help me God.
Finally, in the news, farmers in St. Mark recently received capacity building in climate-smart agriculture as part of moves by the St. Mark's Organization for Development to improve agriculture production in the parish. A one-week session on sustaining livelihood of small farmers through the application of climate change resilience practices and approaches recently concluded in Victoria. The training, which was funded by the Jeff Small Grants Project, covered climate-smart agriculture, farm business management, and effective management practices. Land Use Officer Joseph Noel says it is a model for other farmers' organizations across the country. He advises collaboration among the beneficiaries for a successful project.
And I encourage all the beneficiary farmers to continue cooperating with each other, because for some of the initiatives that you all have started, it will require cooperation among you all, with regards, for example, to the central unit that you all have established for preparing the mulch and so on like that. That central nursery, propagation nursery, plant propagation nursery that you all have established as well, that would require cooperation among yourselves and cooperation with SMART. So I encourage cooperation and sharing of knowledge and lessons learned and so on among yourselves.
President of the St. Mark's Organization for Development, Raymond Batiste, says the training can mean increased agricultural production in the parish.
What the farmers will benefit from was not just the immediate farmers under the project, but farming in St. Mark is a plant propagation facility. You know, if you don't have seedlings, you can't plant anything, which will impact your production. But also the fact that the farmers can now harvest and store and then later on utilize water would help them to undergo the challenge of drought, so that they can continue to produce once they have access to water. So those basically, in my opinion, are the fundamental thing. Obviously, once they have this capacity built, then obviously we are expecting increase in production, increase in the income, and obviously the family household will also be, self-sufficient and so on.
The mandate of the Small Grants Project is to design and implement projects that will bring about environmental and livelihood benefits to communities. St. Mark's Organization for Development was the recipient of US $50,000 for that purpose. Speaking on behalf of the project, Claudette Pitt explained what the monies are being used for.
Establishment of farm soil and water conservation structures using vegetative and other on-farm available materials. Establishment of a new and the rehabilitation of old farm drains. Establishment of on-farm composting units. Construction of 7 rainwater harvesting system, storage shed and water tanks. Installation of a central unit for the conversion of bulky plant remains into recyclable mulch. installation of a plant propagation industry. The success of this initiative was not only reliant upon the St. Mark's Organization for Development, but on you, the participants, to help improve your capacity and that of your livelihood.
That story just ended the national report for Monday, July 4th, recapping the top story. Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell uses 43rd regular meeting of CARICOM to call for cooperation to transform the regional body. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Rikisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.